Welcome to the JJ Think Tank. Hello and welcome back to another video on the JJ Think Tank. In this one, I want to talk a bit about Edmund Husserl, a phenomenologist, a philosopher who founded the school of Phenomenology, which is a school of philosophy that analyzes the nature of consciousness, what it means to have consciousness, what does consciousness include, how does consciousness work, and linked to this, ideas such as psychologism, intersubjectivity, and how to really become more conscious in your life, how to properly use your consciousness, use it with intentionality. And this is a key concept of Edmund Husserl's. He believed that consciousness is to have a consciousness of something, and therefore to have an intention, to have an intention in mind, to intend to do something, to use your consciousness towards a specific goal. But Husserl, he was a really interesting philosopher. He not only talked and wrote about consciousness, he also discussed perennial questions regarding the nature of time and the nature of God, the nature of religion, and so forth. And in this video, I'd like to relate a couple of concepts of Husserl's to music and link it slightly to my experiences with music and how music has improved my life since I started playing the piano. I think it's great to listen to music. It's great to listen to good music. I think this helps you, but also I think it's important to create music, to produce music, to get stuck in and start playing, even if it's at a low level. And this is what I did. I returned to the piano around 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Initially, I was awful. I had no hand coordination skills. I was awful, but after a couple of years, or maybe even a year, I got to a decent level, and then since then I've improved more and more. I've taken a break recently. It's a shame, but hopefully I'll start playing again. But let's go back to Husserl then, and let's talk a bit more about Husserl. I want to go on his Wikipedia page here and share a bit more about him, about his life, about his philosophy. Let's go on the English version. And he really tried to get to the foundation of consciousness. He tried to reduce it via this process known as phenomenological reduction. And he influenced Heidegger greatly. So he appeared before Heidegger, and then Heidegger worked on his findings, which led Heidegger to writing Being and Time. But let's just stick now to meaning and object. I don't want to touch on the other aspects of Husserl's thought because I don't really know it that well. But let's talk about meaning and object. And I liked Husserl because he talked about consciousness in a way that was quite intuitive and that the average person can understand. And as I mentioned before, he talked about intentionality, the intentional nature of consciousness, about intuition, about the internal consciousness of time, how we all have a subjective experience of time, and because time is subjective, we experience time in different ways. Sometimes time passes very quickly. Sometimes it slows down a lot. And I remember when I played the piano, and I was really engrossed in a song, and I was playing it well. I think my subjective experience of time changed definitely. Time grew slower. Time became slower for me subjectively, and here we can share a sentence of Husserl's, and this is what Wikipedia has written here. Though through sensible intuition, consciousness constitutes what Husserl calls a situation of affairs, Sachlage in German. It is a passive constitution where objects themselves are presented. To this situation of affairs, through categorical intuition, people are able to constitute a state of affairs. This is a really interesting idea, that we are surrounded by these objects. When we first process the objects around us, there's nothing deeper to be found. They're just lying there, yes, they're not in use. But then as we start to dive deeper into the present moment, these objects kind of create a state of affairs. And I think this is what Husserl means by this concept, this philosophical concept, state of affairs, which is reached via our intuition. And this is just one concept of Husserl's. Another one here is sensible intuition. The way people know sensible objects is called sensible intuition. So he definitely was a philosopher who shed a lot of light on consciousness, what it means to have consciousness, I think, via this phenomenological reduction. And phenomenology it also influenced other thinkers later on. A lot of philosophers who came after Husserl became associated with the school of phenomenology. Obviously, Heidegger comes to mind, but I think other philosophers like Sartre, Jean-Paul Sartre. Who else? Merleau-Ponty, for example, French philosopher. Going back to my article now, so perhaps I'll cover phenomenology in another video more deeply. But now I want to talk about Husserl as it pertains to music and my experience with music and learning the piano. And I think it's good to think of our life as a piece of music. Life, we can view life as an unresolved melody or a resolved melody. Some people are still lost in life and their melody hasn't been resolved, whereas others have achieved what they wanted in life and life is resolved. And this is what happens in music. A melody, before a piece of music is finished, before a piece of music is completed, the melody is not resolved. If we stop playing halfway through, then this music doesn't make sense, yes? But once we reach the end, it does. And this is how we should view our life, I think. It's a good way to view our life, because if we notice this, that perhaps, okay, at this moment in time, we're a bit lost in life, we're not in a good place, by thinking of life as a melody, we can say to ourselves, oh, look, okay, maybe right now my life is not great, but perhaps in a few years things will be much better, and a lot of parts will be resolved. Our life will make sense in a couple of years or in a few years further down the line. Yes. So I think this concept can help us if we are in a low place. And when I was learning a piano piece a few years ago with my teacher in London, he was a great teacher, by the way, and I remember he mentioned something concerning music, and he said that a piece always contains notes and chords that must be resolved in the end, as otherwise the piece lacks structure and unity. And the musical term he used was cadence. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but this is when a chord progresses to resolve a harmony or a melody, and there are many different cadences. I'm actually learning this at the moment because I want to pass my grade 5 in theory, in music theory, and in what I'm learning at the moment, I'm covering various cadences. So a chord can progress from 5 to 1, for example, and this resolves the cadence. Yes. And this is important because if this doesn't take place in a melody, in a piece of music, then we don't have a sense of harmony. The music is not as impactful. So this is why when we play a piece of music, it's not the case that all the notes are separate from each other in time with no relation to one another. Obviously, this is not true. All the notes relate to one another, just like we as an individual, we have to relate to others. The same is the case with notes in music. And the melody arises from the relation of one note to the previous note, alongside the anticipation of the next note. So again, here we've got a link to time. It's the same as the case with time. We are linked to the past. We live in the present, but we are also living in the future. We are anticipating the future, and in music, in a good piece of music, these notes are finally resolved in a harmonious way, and this is what we should strive for in our life. We should strive for our life to become like a beautiful piece of music, which is resolved at the end. And the next point I want to make, which is linked to this, is how when you start to play a piece of music well, and you're able to notice the relation of time to the notes, and also the relation of silence to the notes, because silence also plays a part in music. You have to use silence in the correct way. As you get better at this process, you start to get lost in the music, and then your perception of time changes. And I know Husserl talked about time, about the subjective nature of time, and a person can really experience this via music, I think, and this is why music is so great, because it helps us to reach this flow state. I guess we can call it a flow state as well, and it's nice to experience. I've experienced it a few times, not too often in my life, unfortunately, because I'm not a great musician. I'm an average musician, amateur musician. But I think this, even if you don't play very well, you should start, because this is a great experience. I think it's great to experience this, and yes. So now I'd like to talk a bit more about Husserl and about Husserl's force on time. So for Husserl, our inner time consciousness is like a melody. This is what Husserl said, and this is the real time for the subject. as opposed to the Newtonian conception of time, because the Newtonian conception of time is rigid, static, mechanical. It doesn't change. Yes, it's just it's constantly the same. Whereas real time for the subject, it's like a melody. It gets elongated, and then it gets slower, and basically, this sense of time is warped, is distorted. Yes, and when I read this about Husserl, when I read this thought of Husserl, and I experienced this when playing music, I thought, okay, this does make sense, and neuroscience confirms that playing music or listening to music, it's a way to activate our whole brain. I think not many other life activities do this. I don't think so. Definitely not. Because when I read, for example, or when I write, I don't experience these same kind of sensations or experiences as when I play music. Playing music definitely activates more regions of the brain, and our feelings are at our peak when this happens. Definitely. So I think Husserl's right. Yes, I mean time is nature of time. It's a question in philosophy that has always been talked about, and I like this interpretation. I like this Husserlian interpretation of time as it relates to the subject. Yes, not this objective sense of time, which is the Newtonian conception of time, but the subjective experience of time that we all have. So yes, to finish, I'd like to quote Husserl directly. This is what Husserl said. The perceiving of a melody is in fact a temporary, extended, gradually and continuously unfolding act, which is constantly an act of perceiving. This act possesses an ever new now point. Yes. When I read this, the song "Lose Yourself" by Eminem came into my mind. Isn't there a lyric in the song? You gotta lose yourself in the music, the moment. You better never let it go. I mean, this is what Eminem is talking about. You have to lose yourself in the present moment, because in the present moment is where you can experience an elongated sense of time. Definitely. It's hard to really dive deep into the present moment. It's not easy. We are constantly distracted. We are constantly under stress. We have a lot of obligations, a lot of responsibilities. I think music is a good way to lose yourself in the present moment. Playing music is a great way to achieve this. And this is what I wrote at the end. Our struggle is to grasp the now as much as possible. With music, we are able to do so more fully, but there is always a residue, something that eludes our grasp. I guess that is just the nature of time for us. Yes, unfortunately, we can never fully grasp the present moment. It seems that this is the case. But yes, anyway, that's the end of the video. I don't want to talk more about this. If you have some free time, playing the piano is a great hobby. I really think it can improve your mental health, and you should consider starting. Even at a low level, even playing these simple songs can really help you. I really enjoyed playing these simple songs when I first started. At the beginning, also, you can make a lot of progress really quickly, and this motivates you to play more and more. But after a while, you reach this kind of plateau, I guess, which is difficult to break. But anyway, once again, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it interesting. If you're a new viewer, consider liking and subscribing. It will help me grow the channel. Comment what you think about what I just said. If you agree, if you disagree, what does music mean in your life? If you are an existing viewer, it's the same. If you agree, let me know what you think. If you disagree, let me know as well. And yes, but once again, thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best. Take care.
What? Fire in the hole!
Thank you for listening to the JJ Think Tank. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.